Find the value of f prime of 4 given that f of x equals square root of x over quantity x squared plus 1. Okay, so we'll start by I'll start by rewriting it because that's what I always do in life. But then I will use the product rule to find the derivative. And after we have the derivative, we're going to plug in 4 and get an answer. So here we're going to do the product rule. uv prime equals uv prime plus u prime v. I know listening to that didn't make sense, but there's parentheses in there that was not mentioned orally. Okay, so u in this case will be x to the 1/2. U prime then will be 1/2 x to the negative 1/2. That's just the power rule. V will be x squared plus 1 to the negative 1. You might be wondering, why don't I use the quotient rule? I just don't like the quotient rule. For me, I prefer to just get good at the product rule, and then that way I don't have to worry about forgetting the formula for the quotient rule. My memorization is terrible. I have the memory of a goldfish. I assume that's pretty low. Maybe. Maybe it's just all fish. Fish? Well, I know sometimes when I go fishing, I'll catch the same fish like 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, "You dumb fish! Why don't you understand?" Okay, x squared plus 1. So we do the power rule to bring that down. Come down to negative 2, and then we multiply by the interior chain rule. Then we have x squared plus 1 on the bottom to the 2. I don't know why I have an x up there. Probably don't need that x. Okay. So now we put it all together. Put it all together. We have u, which is x to the 1/2, times v prime, which is negative 2x, all over x squared plus 1 squared, plus u prime, which is 1 over x to the, I'll say 1 over x to the 1/2, times v, which will be 1 over x squared plus 1. Okay? Now, normally at this point, I would simplify things, but I'm thinking it might actually be easier if I just plug in 4 and see what happens. So, cyan. I'll do cyan. Okay, so f prime of 4 equals, all right, the square root of 4, which is the 1/2 exponent, is 2, minus 2 times 4, which is 8, but I'll just write that down as 4. X squared, which is 4 squared. 4 squared, which is 16, plus 1 is 17, so it'll be 17 squared, plus 1/2 over square root of 4, which is 1/2, times, and this will be 1 over 17. But then I'll probably multiply the top and bottom here by 17, because that way then I'll get a common denominator. But then I'll also multiply this one by 4 by 4. That way I get the 2's. Maybe. We'll see. Okay. So, looking at this side first, we have 17 over, what is 17 squared? So we'll have 9, 4, 7 times 1, 119, 0, 1, 7, 9, 2, 8, 289? Is that true? 17, nope, that's 1 squared. I want 17 squared. 17 squared. 289. Oh, well, good for me. Good for me. Wait a second. Might as well multiply it by 4 when I'm... Now we're good. Yeah. Nope. Might multiply by 4. I'm confident I could do it by hand, but not here. 1156. Okay. So we got 1156 as our denominator. 17 over 1156. And then we have 4 times 17 squared, which I already determined was 1156. And we will have 4 times 2, which is 8, times negative 8, which is negative 64. So 17 minus 64 I'll do 64 minus 17. I know, lots of work here. 5, 1, 14 minus 7 is 7. 5 minus 1 is 47, so it'll be negative. So we have negative 47 over, all right, take it home color. We have negative 47 over 1156. Ooh, that is an odd number. And, ooh, haha. Is it odd? I'm not quite sure. I think it's odd. But it's a possible solution. So that is what I'm going to go for. Nope, not quite centered. There we go. Negative 47 over 1156. Okay. This problem, from a calculus point of view, not too bad. But it does kind of get cumbersome with some of the numbers. Very algebra heavy. Which sometimes that's such as life. Okay, so that's how you do this problem. Take the derivative. I used the product rule, a little bit of chain rule, plugged in the 4, simplified, got the answer. Thank you much. See you on the next problem.